Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy SoSo, in case you ain't know so, and welcome back to another dope episode of Sports with SoSo. Coming to you live, y'all. This week, we're talking Heat and Dame Dollar. The Marlins keep rolling on the road, and we break down Ricky Fowler's breaking the streak. It's time to take a ride, y'all. Let's go. What it do? What's going on, man? Happy post 4th of July.
Cinco de Julio.
That's right. For my real people. This is
For the real people that know.
Yeah, you slept here in the USA.
Yeah, this is the real holiday right here when everybody goes and gets deals on Coronas because they're half off after 4th of July.
If you know, you know.
And they get drunk like a bunch of... No, that's messed up.
Yeah,
I can't just stereotype a whole
it's all good. It's
race
all
of
good.
people right before starting the show. How you doing, So? You
I'm
can't
doing
get me
good, man.
You can't get me going here.
Nah, I can't. It's too early. I'm doing good, brother. Been jet lagging it, but that's what we do.
You're wild.
Nah, man, Cali's
SOB.
always cool, dog. Who says no to going to California? Nobody.
I mean, Cali is dope. It's just your frequency of travel.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot. It's just a lot.
I mean, they call me jet lag, so dog.
Yeah, I mean,
What
sure.
can I say?
I mean,
What can I say?
Sure.
But yeah,
I can see that.
Cali was cool, man. And you know, cool shit for me was like being up early, right, and getting all this Heat news, the Marlins, seeing what's going on with them, and all that stuff, and still having time to do things throughout the day. You know, I really didn't miss anything as far as sports go down here in Miami. But it was nice, man. It was hotter than a mug out there, and I got to play golf, which is obviously super cool to play golf in any other state. So.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. It was weird having 4th of July on a Tuesday.
Right?
Little strange in the middle of the week. Not having Monday off, but having it off kind of.
Yeah.
And it was a little odd, but
I saw you out there on the golf course with the boys.
yeah, we were out there, dog. The hottest day recorded on Earth in like history.
That's
that was
right.
the day we chose to golf was July 4th, and it was so hot. But played Miami Shores, and it was wild because Puello had actually told me he played it recently, and he was like, "Man, the greens were terrible." And I guess maybe they had just punched them or something.
Mm-hmm.
They were in really good shape when we went. Like there were some holes that had patches and stuff like that was a little out of Miami Shores character, but bro, they were fast. Like. Super quick greens, and yeah, boys had a good time. We had 3 groups out there. You know,
I
we
love
were
that
out there
place.
squatted up. Place is great, bro. I love Miami Shores. It was in good shape. The fairways were a little like wet, you know, because they had got rain. I guess a couple of days before or whatever, and that was the worst part probably. That and some of the greens were a little messed up, but besides that, it was great, man. It was a good time.
Did you record stuff?
We got some stuff, like some shots I recorded and posted it on the story on Miami Golf Pros. Go check that out. I'm getting more reception though around the teaser for the Miami Golf
That's
Pros
what I'm
Open
talking about.
video coming up soon. How soon? It depends on you, the listener. Maybe by this time there's already 50 likes on that video, and it's already out. If not, go check it out. Drop a like on that teaser, and
Push the numbers.
50 likes, I'll drop it.
Yeah.
Either that or by Friday, whatever comes first.
And I think we'll get there.
We're only a few likes away, so we'll see.
So make sure you guys are subscribed to Miami Golf Bros on YouTube, of course. That way you do get to see that video when it drops.
Yep.
It was a great time out there with the boys. Shout out to everybody, man. And yeah, you know, I know that the video is going to be amazing. I can't wait to see it, dog.
Getting good reception for the teaser. People are fans so far of the teaser, and the full video is just that. It's just a teaser of the full video. Yep. So, yeah, you want to tune in for that. But another shout out that we got to give, bro, is our boy Andy Borgales.
Yes, sir.
For last week's episode.
From the U, baby.
Sorry again for the audio quality on my end. That was
we had to make things work. Certain things weren't working.
We
in our
make
favor.
it happen, but Andy's was good, and he had some good stuff to say.
Absolutely.
So we just want to give him a shout out. Say thank you for coming on the show.
And it was great how it came out. Obviously, recording at Empire is always dope, man. Shout out to Steve for allowing us to be there.
Gracious host.
Yeah, for sure. And even Vic coming through, man, you know what I mean? It changes the element of the environment, you know what I mean? And it puts it in such a positive way, and Andy did great. So make sure you guys are checking that out on the YouTube channel, Sports with SoSo, and hit the subscribe button, and definitely hit that notification button because we got so much stuff dropping soon. We know that Crawford and Spence are fighting later this month. Going to sit down with Vic and talk about that. That's going to be cool. So lots of stuff to look forward to, man.
Oh yeah,
And the Miami Golf Pro stuff
it
too.
was a collaborative effort.
Yes, yes. And you know what? Speaking of YouTube, I want to make sure that when this news does hit, we put something out there for instant reaction, right? Now that we got Dame Dalla officially in Heat radars, right? He formally announced that he does want to get traded and tells Portland, hey, I only want to go to Miami, which makes things difficult if you're the Trailblazers, right? Because you obviously want to do right by Dame, but you also, owe it to your fan base to get the most out of a guy like him, right? As far as trade goes. And I'm interested to see how many teams are willing to jump in to help facilitate this trade. The numbers will tell you that, yeah, there's a way for us to do it straight up with Portland, but I don't know if it's going to be that easy or that cut and dry, right? Because then if they do, it's definitely not the best package that Portland could walk away with, right? When we're talking about the amount of picks that we have and the players that we would be giving them. The rumor is that, it's definitely going to be Tyler Hero. It's definitely going to be a guy like Duncan Robinson. And, a combination of other things. We know that there's draft picks involved, whether it's Lowry's expiring contract or we throw in Caleb, something like that. Now, the draft happened. We draft James Jaquez, Mexican-born player from out of UCLA. I think it was Pac-12 all year player of the year. This dude, 6'6", very active handles, can shoot, and just looks like a baller, right? Not necessarily has like the most physical, tempting like body, like to say, hey, this guy's physically imposing. Doesn't look like that, but he's a guy who can hold his own, plays defense, obviously mature. I'm interested to see what type of level he brings, right, to the squad and how quickly he can bring it, because we are losing guys like Max Strus, who got traded to Cleveland. We are losing guys like Gabe Vincent, who ended up signing with the Lakers. And those were a good portion of the core of our bench, which helped us in a lot of these games in the playoffs.
Big losses. I mean,
I don't know if they're big.
You just kind of hit me with some heavy punches here.
But I thought
we were going to.
How big are they, though?
I mean,
on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being like majorly big.
I mean, well, we got to talk about this. We got to talk about each one individually. Is my point. You know what I mean? You just kind of unloaded all of it. You just went,
but they all go hand in hand.
Like,
because now we're making moves and there's cap room and we're clearing space.
Sure,
to bring in a guy like Dame.
But we didn't clear up space necessarily with those guys. We just didn't take up space.
Correct, and
they were unsigned.
But that's adding space, brother.
I get what you're saying.
Addition by subtraction.
I get what you're saying, but the whole issue is that Dame is the priority. It's not the issue; it's the goal. The goal is that Dame is the priority. Yes, we love Max Strus and Gabe Vincent, what they've been able to do for us, and we appreciate what they did for us, but we also understand this is a business, and you got to go and get your money. So you're not going to hang around and wait for what the Heat are going to do for you to get the peanuts that are left over after Dame. If there's a team knocking on your door knowing your worth, you know what I mean, going to pay you. So it makes perfect sense. I totally understand that going both ways for these guys. But for if we had to talk about it a little bit further, which one hurts you more, losing Max Strus or losing Gabe Vincent?
For me, I would have to say Gabe Vincent, because we do have a gap, a noticeable gap in our point guard position. As great as of a run that Lowry had this year, which was really good in the playoffs, really good. Listen to what I'm saying, really good in the playoffs. It wasn't nowhere near that during the regular season, which could have helped us probably, right, as far as seeding goes. So Gabe having to step into that role and be the starting point guard and attribute some type of offense, which he's not known for. He's more known for his defense. It really says a lot about him and how bad we are in that position and how much it kills us, right? We saw Brunson go off on us, and that was the second guard back-to-back series before we got to Jaylen Brown, right, where he was kind of slow, where point guards were lining us up every time. Derek White had good moments as a Celtics against us. There was like a ton of guards that killed our guards for as good as they are as defense. So, yeah, losing Gabe hurts more for me because we have had such a lackluster type of point guard history in the last 6-7 years. We haven't had nobody really in that position that stands out. We've had other positions, right? Whiteside. We had Bam, Jimmy, Tyler Hero as shooting guard. Like we've had these moments with players. Point guard hasn't been one of them. So Gabe stepping up means a lot more than me than a guy like Struz, because I feel like, no disrespect to Struz, but we can find another him, or maybe even a guy better than him. We did with Martin, right? We got him for cheap, and look how good he fits our scheme and the guys around us. So
That's funny, is every point you're making for Gabe Vincent and against Max Strus is exactly what I'm thinking in my head the opposite way. Because I just feel like, Gabe Vincent, hell of a player. Lakers are going to grab a dog, a guy that's ready to work, somebody that's going to fit with LeBron and all those guys. But for me, I guess that guy, we developed that kind of guy. When I think back to guys like Mario Chalmers and Norris Cole after that, and now Vincent, like we always find those smaller point guards that are really athletic. We teach them some good fundamentals and good ethics, and then boom, they become these really good role players in certain systems. Max Strus also evident. He's the same kind of player as far as a role player and all that stuff, but I just felt like there was a higher ceiling for Strus, than there was for Vincent on any given night, because of his ability to not only defend and also, offensively he can shoot the three. So I'm gonna miss Strus a little bit more than I am Vincent. I'm gonna miss both those guys, man. Those guys played phenomenally. They were our unsung heroes, right? Our unlikely heroes.
Yes, etched in history for sure.
Yep, the undrafted, the unlikely, you know what I mean? Now, the undefeated getting paid, that's all that matters. Get your payday, homie. So congrats to those guys.
For sure.
But yes, everything's on a gridlock right now as far as the NBA and as far as the Heat's moves. The other thing you kind of unloaded was Jaime Jaquez. So, the rookie, that we drafted, he's looking good, man. He looked good in that summer league game that we saw recently. And the thing with him is we can't trade him yet, not until the end of this month, July. So I don't think Portland, if Portland is going to hold off and say, no, we want that kid part of the trade, so you got to wait, then that's one thing, but I haven't heard any rumors of that. What I have been hearing rumors of, is that this is going from potentially a 3-team trade to potentially now a 5 to 7 team trade.
For sure. And that may be what's necessary, right? To be a team like Portland and say, I got to get the most out of this guy moving. I'm going to ship him to Miami, but I got to figure out a way to get the most return. So even if I have to add 6 teams, fuck it. So be it. We're going to do it. And it makes sense. It makes sense for Portland. And I'm not hating on them, because at the end of the day, I really do think they're going to do right by Dame, right? And right by the organization, and trade them to Miami and get the most what they can. Whether it's equivalent to what you're really losing with Dame, hell no. It's never realistic like that in any trade, right? For as much as you can say, well, both teams got good deals. Yeah, great. It's never 100% to 100%. 90 to 89, 88, whatever. But it ends up working in some teams' favor more than another, no matter what you do, right? There's no equivalent for like what's an equivalent for a fucking Bron James, dog? 1,000 and number one picks.
It depends.
But I'm saying at Dame's age, at 32.
That's why I'm saying it depends at the age and all that.
Shit.
32, you're still getting a prime, Dame Lillard. You're still getting a very good product, considering Jimmy Butler, pretty much same age, still phenomenal player. Excuse me, and. No, I think for me the interesting part is that 3-team trade. Let's talk about that. What has been kind of proposed. Hero's not involved because Portland doesn't want Hero, so that's where
Brooklyn will take him.
That's where Brooklyn came into the mix, becoming a 3-team trade. But then Brooklyn's got to get rid of a guy named Ben Simmons, who Portland doesn't want either. So there was also a potential rumor that Miami could just end up with Dame Lillard and Ben Simmons. I know Ben Simmons has been kind of a bust. I've talked a lot of shit about the kid.
We have talked a lot of shit about him.
What are your thoughts around that idea?
Bro, every Heat fan listening to this right now is going, bro, the culture. And it's like, fuck, how do you debate that, right? And yes, I would agree, right? Out of all the other teams in the NBA, we're probably in that top 3 to 5% of teams who can realistically fix players and have them, adapt to our system, right? Because not only do we talk the talk, we walk the walk. And you can look at the performances of the team and what they do to players, and how players who always move on from here have a better, if not career, or at least that equal of a career. Ben Simmons would be probably like willing to come down here and put in the work if he knows that it's this organization. Maybe he doesn't put in that type of work for Portland. Maybe he doesn't put in that type of work for, Utah or Milwaukee, something like that. Maybe he doesn't do that. But him coming here would probably looks at the prestige and be like, yo, these guys are definitely got some history. They definitely love dogs. They definitely help players get better, right? I.e. Duncan, Struz, Gabe, like all of these guys, even Hero. Kids technically should be coming out of college right now. And he's been on the biggest stage, even in the NBA Finals when it was in the bubble. Dude was balling. So we have a way of finding talent and making it work for us. Him hitting here, landing here would definitely be a 60-40, where it does end up turning better for both player and franchise, right? Where the Heat get a really good, versatile player who's tall, can defend, can shoot, get to the rim, right? And at the same time, he gets a second lease on his NBA career to really show what he can do as far as a superior team, where maybe he doesn't have to be the guy or even the number 2 guy. Because realistically, him coming here puts him in what, 5th, 6th in the rotation? If he ends up as
he's coming off the bench on 1,000%.
1,000%, right? But either way, like just looking at lineups, you're talking about him playing in a place where he has no pressure to be one of the best players on the court at any given time. Because he's probably going to be playing on the court with a Jimmy, a Bam, a Dame. So right there, you're the show, like the amount of responsibility is less and allows him to play freer. Some of that sports psychology that we were talking about with Pete, man, and that shit is real. Maybe he has that weight of being the guy. And him coming to a situation like this where he's not being relied on, right? He's just one of the guys, allows him to play better, allows him to play free.
That's a good thought. I didn't think about that, man. I don't know what his contract looks like. I don't know what that would do to us. So
that dude's making guap. I'll tell you right now.
It would suck if we're bringing on a fat contract and have that guy coming off the bench. But if it's a necessary evil, it's a necessary evil. In order to get Dame, that's the end goal. we gotta get Dame, and all signs are pointing to that is the case. But now it's looking like there's maybe more teams that are going to be in the mix. I heard the Spurs might be one of those other teams.
Yep.
Potentially involved. So I've seen in articles that it's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when it's going to happen. So we're just waiting. We're playing the waiting game,
which is fine. It really is fine because as much as we want to say, yeah, we want this dude to already be here. Let's get this guy in the books. Blase, blase. We don't necessarily have to rush it, right? Like we said, we have to make sure that Portland does its best or has the ability to get the most out of what they can for this trade. It'd be whack of them to just give it up. You get what I'm saying? It'd be whack. Back to Ben Simmons' contract. He's made 35 this year, making 37 this upcoming season, and 40 in 24-25.
That's a lot of dough.
Yes. But the salary cap is going up. I was listening to the Low podcast, and a lot of the conversation about the cap going up is in increments of $8 to $10 million per year. So contracts like that for a kid as young as he is, a guy as young as he is, would work. It would work. I'm just saying, if the heaviest anchor you got to take back in order to get Dame is Ben Simmons, you do that.
No, you're fine with that. I mean,
you do that.
I mean, at least it just kind of.
What are you doing that?
Financially, if you can do it, you do it. Why not? Do it. If you're just something you weren't expecting to take on, and it's a project now. Now it's a passion project. This
26, dog.
Yeah, he's still young. He's talented. He has just raw talent. Like he just needs the right kind of team around him. Literally,
Playing on a super team, dog. Because that's what it will be now, right? The Heat signed, I think Thomas Bryant, the center, a very agile center, a real center, right? He's not the best shooter, but he averages doubles. You know,
What does Ben Simmons play? Because I know he's big, but he plays
guard.
he plays the point.
So imagine if Dame and him are running just guard play back and forth,
The backcourt. Then you throw in Jimmy, Bam, and
one
Thomas Bryant.
and either or, right? Either Jimmy on the court at a certain time or Bam, the offense just gets a lot different because now you have a real good triangle of
Shit, what if we
of
had
shit that
five
can
of
move.
those guys on the court?
What are you? Again, this is all incurring that, you know, in the hopes that A, the trade gets done, and B, the worst part of that trade is that we take Ben Simmons and he ends up working out for us, which could happen, maybe not, because he could be bad, right? But I don't think that it would be that much pressure on him, which would allow him to be much better, to be playing much better here. Let's see, man. I really am interested in how this deal is going to work out because that's what's pretty much going to allow us to fill in the rest of the roster. You know, you look at the Heat's roster of who we got for this next upcoming season. It's Jimmy, Bam, Kyle Lowry's money still on there. Duncan, Oladipo got traded, right? So he's gone.
Yeah, we moved him over to OKC. We signed him, which was like a moment like
A signing
what?
trade.
Why did we? Oh, okay. And then we just got rid of him.
Same thing with Strus. We got something out of it.
Yeah, we were able to sign and trade Strus to the Cavs.
Lessens the blow for Gabe. He just left as a free agent, so that shit hurts because we didn't get nothing
back for him.
You know,
from the Lakers, who would have had
Tyler's
stuff
on,
to give us.
Nikolai is on, and Highsmith. We didn't re-sign Omar, Yurts.
Nope.
No Cody Zeller. We did re-sign Kevin Love, so he's coming back.
2 year with a player option in the second year.
He's gonna be the UD.
I like it. I don't mind it.
I don't mind it.
Let him write out his career here. If we got the money for it, he's a good locker room guy.
So it works. How can we fill up the rest of the roster? Well, now I'm sure that other free agents are looking at the Heat are like, that's a real destination for me, i.e. if the trade goes down, because now I definitely want to go play with these guys because I know that, you know, they're going to be favored or at least be really good dogs to go up against the Milwaukees, the Bostons, whatever.
They're just waiting on one domino to fall.
That's it.
The Dame domino.
The Dame domino.
The Damino.
Yeah. And we're gonna license that. That's copyrighted, y'all. Let's see, bro. I think that's a great dynamic for this Heat team. We obviously know we need talent. We obviously know that the Heat needs some type of scoring. So we got to find a way. I think that we get this trade done in the next 2 weeks.
Sheesh.
Hey.
I saw some guy posted a reel or something like that, a story that's like, I think we get it done in the next like 48 hours or something like that.
I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that. A complicated trade like that?
Yeah. I don't know.
It's going to take more than 48 hours to put together.
I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, bro. I'm just kind of staying away from all the sports media for right now until it happens. When I get that notification from that Woj bomb, it's like Dame Lillard officially a Miami Heat, and it's the one of him in the
jersey.
Yep. Then I'll get hyped. Till then, it's all
speculation.
Speculation and rumors.
But what I will tell you this, to kind of like wrap up on the Heat shit, especially with Dame, I don't like the disrespect that they're giving us yet again, talking about, other teams should be, you know, traded first because of what they can offer and only there. Forget about the player. The franchise has to do right by themselves. It's like, yo, that's not the message that you want to send to players, right? Especially to top talent that you're trying to attract to your city, which is not a number one destination for any type of free agent, right? Unless you're throwing major bucks. You got to show guys that you're willing to treat them right and to really invest. And that's what they did. They invested in Dame. They invested in the team. Didn't work out. Happens. Hey, we're willing to go this far with you guys. And when we do, it's always going to be a good for you, good for us situation. That helps you attract players. That helps you keep some of your guys that you're drafting. Not just being, you know what, F you, player, you're out of here. I'm going to get the most for you. See you when I see you. Because then every time you play that guy, he's going to put up 60. He's going to be talking to your team. He's going to be talking to your fans. He's going to be talking. You don't need that, dog. So I truly do think that Portland's going to do right by him. It's not going to be one of those situations. Just sucks that we got to wait to see who else is involved. You know, if it's that many teams, like, what are they willing to risk? Is it picks that they want? Is it a player that they're looking at in specific? Who knows? It's going to take more than 48 hours, bro.
Yeah.
To put up a trade like that.
Oh, yeah.
But your boy SoSo is going to bring it to you live when it does happen. You know, thanks to our beautiful app. We're going to be able to connect wherever we're at and, put together our thoughts.
Yeah, we'll do it. When it happens, if it's...
you're going to know.
We'll do an emergency presser.
The cool shit is that all these deals that have been leaked or confirmed or whatever, they're officially, on the books in terms of the NBA because July 6th, free agency is officially open. So let's see. Let's see who else signs tomorrow, right? A couple of deals the ones that we know about get announced for sure early, but it's interesting to see like who's negotiating with who and who pulls the trigger on getting some type of players because I think the Heat are, firm in their stance of like Dame or nothing, you know?
That's like I said, that's the what everybody's waiting on right now. We need that to happen and then everything else can
happen after that.
Around it.
That'll work. What else will work? Them Marlins. Them boys are on fire. And they showed the ability to bounce back, dog. Let me tell you. That was huge.
We gotta lead off by saying they got swept by the Braves.
Hold on. Before you even... Why you got to start there, dog?
I'm just saying, bro.
Why can't you start about the series win before that?
Okay. Because all right, go there then.
You know what I mean? They
go
swept
further back.
Okay, so I'm just saying they.
That's right. We haven't got together for a couple weeks.
It's been like that. So they went
go way back 2 weeks now.
So they went 3 out of 4 at home versus Pittsburgh. Then they go on the road, sweep the Red Sox.
Correct.
Very impressive performance in all of those, right? Go to Atlanta on that same road trip and lose all 3 games. 16-4 is the one that hurt the most because that was the first game.
But in the process, Atlanta became the hottest team officially in baseball with the best record.
Yes.
And the best, I think, streak or something like that,
They
too,
reached
at that moment.
18 or 19 games. They won one more after us, but they reached 19 games of a streak before they ended up losing.
But there you go. So they're on fire right now.
A really good team.
It would have been nice to take one, but we just couldn't stop that machine.
That's okay, though, because you know what? You were rolling before you ran into them, right? Which is what we want of the Marlins. Go out there and win series, put some winning streaks together. And then you
slapped.
You run into the hottest team in baseball, which is a gauge. Where are we at? Oh, the project is this far? So, okay, cool. Keep on pushing. We know where we're heading. We know what we need to tweak. And then you see the bounce back. Yeah. Boom. You win 2 games straight against St. Louis at home. And yeah, you can look at St. Louis and be like, it's not the same St. Louis of old, whatever. They're last in their division. Yeah, but guess what? You got to go out there and beat the bad teams too.
You got to bounce back, baby. And that's what they did. And they've been doing that this year.
Yes.
They've been bouncing back after some pretty bad losses. And there was a couple in that series against the Braves that were not great. The run differential was pretty bad, but they bounced back and they won 2. They didn't just win 1 and then lose again. Like, that's normally what Marlins have done the last couple of years. Like, no, now they're putting in streaks, whether it's 2 games or 3 games, but they're developing more of those more often and winning series.
For sure. And look, and just for the sake of the argument, right? Like, even the kid, right, Yuri Perez, he had a good run heading into that Atlanta series, and then he got rocked. Didn't even get out of the inning, gave up 6 runs, which is great for him. You know why? Because he was probably riding on such a high. Right now, he brings a little bit more of reality to be like, I got to be at my best every single pitch. But he still has a record of 5-2 on the season with an ERA under 2 runs. Like, What are we talking about?
Yeah.
If that's your bump in the road, kid, keep it pushing, right? We know that we're getting somewhere with him. Even Sandy has looked a lot better, in my opinion, these last 4 weeks than he has in the beginning of the season, which is great because now you're talking about a team that is really competing at 50-37, right, so far in the season, which is crazy to say that.
13 games above 500.
5 more wins than the Phillies, who are definitely spending more money than the Marlins, right? 11 games more wins than the Mets, who are definitely spending more money than we are. And we're still 8 games. We're 8 games behind the Braves, which is okay. But like you said earlier,
I think
Braves were one of the best teams in baseball.
But I think we have the 3rd best record in the league.
Yeah.
Overall, right?
No, we're 6th right now.
Or
Six. We're 50 at 57.
Or maybe in the National League. Sorry. In the National League, I think we have the third best record.
Yeah. In the league, in the National League, number 3, kid.
Which is good. Which is fantastic.
Beyond good.
That's fantastic for this team, kid. Bro.
Come on. You two are...
This is a winning baseball team right now. Currently, the state of this team is a winning baseball team, which is wild to say about Marlins baseball.
It's two things that we didn't really think that they strengthened throughout the offseason, right? Number one, the emergence of AJ Puck and Nardi and company in the bullpen. Those guys have been killing it. They're top 3 in ERAs allowed in save opportunities. They have the most strikeout to walk ratio. They have the highest, meaning they're striking out everybody that they're facing on a more consistent basis. And they're winning games and saving games. AJ Puck has 14 saves on the season. This dude has been super consistent for us. And when we got him, nobody really was like, AJ Puck is going to be the guy to seal it. No, but all he's done is come in and make the most out of opportunities. And that's the difference in this Marlins season so far. We've been able to win close games. You know, you're talking about, I was listening to the play-by-play announcer on the radio station, and he was mentioning that when you look at the Marlins, they're not a team that strike out a lot. They don't have heavy swingers, guys who are striking out 4 times to hit the 1 home run. No, you don't.
We got rid of Giancarlo a long time ago, guy.
Not only him, there's a bunch of players, right? But it just shows you the discipline within the lineup to be like, hey, we all got to do our best to make sure that we're swinging at quality pitches, to make sure the next guy is getting looks at quality pitches, which just helps, you know, the next guy get on, and then the next guy, and then next thing you know, it's a double.
Right.
That's how we hit. That's how we, generate runs. We're not a powered team. But at the same rate, you're looking at so much plate discipline for the Marlins that they're not one of those teams in the bottom 5. And in fact, they're in the top 10 when it comes to strikeouts that they've done themselves, right? So just shows you how the ability of a good bullpen, right, along with some disciplined hitting, allows you to win close games, which makes a difference in the baseball season. Because now you're winning, the Marlins record within 2-run games is amazing this season, right? They're still way above, I think they're like 750 or some shit like that. They've only lost 5 or 6 games total within 2 runs, showing you that they're in it, and they're winning 28 of them. So, like, what are we talking about here? We're showing you that there's an ability within this team to generate runs when they need them and win close games. Why? Because the bullpen is good and we're getting consistent hitting. We look at that team, Joel, as far as stats go, how many guys do you see there that are hitting over 10 home runs?
We got a few.
Okay.
We got a few.
What's a few?
If I had to count them all?
It's 2 guys. Soler and Cooper. Only 2 guys with double-digit home runs.
Okay, we don't have that many.
That's what I'm saying. But then you look at the consistency in RBIs, right? And you have at least, 6 guys over 20 RBIs. 49, 45, 41, 39, 30, 22. You're getting addition. It's not 1 guy or 2 guys carrying a team. Everybody's piling on to make the stats look even better. And that shit shows in the game. That game we just played against the Cardinals, I think they had like 19 hits or something like that. The score was ridiculous.
15-2?
15-2. Smoked them, kid.
Yep. And then we're playing them right now as we record this. Bottom of the first, we're up already a run.
Look at that. And again, it's one of the worst teams in baseball. I get it when you're talking about the Marlins, but guess what? Good teams used to kick our ass like that all the time. And now we get a chance to do it to other bad teams and really put ourselves in some distance.
Let me ask you a question, though, because you talk about, the lack of home runs, which I thought we had more guys, especially with guys like Luis Arraez, and then now we got Jazz back. But just as quickly as we got Jazz back, Jazz is out again. Yeah. What's going on with him?
I feel like he's just, sometimes guys rush too quickly to come back. He did hit a big home run in the Boston series, and he looked to be healthy. But who knows? It was probably a tweak, and they're probably just trying to save him from further injuring whatever he has going on. So I don't know if he's going to be out for a while. I don't know if he's going to be out for a week. It doesn't look like it's that serious, but with him, you never know. You just know that when he's on the team and on the field, we're obviously much better, especially, in the lineup. And his contributions are heavily felt. They're heavily felt when they're happening. Just needs to be available more. But I think they're just being careful with him, right? Like maybe take the next couple of days off. Let's see. It says mild oblique strain, day to day. See how it goes. Negative MRI, nothing crazy. Again, I think they're just being careful with him. They invested in him. They know that he's a great asset to this team and organization. And we have our sights on bigger accomplishments, right, than just winning games. We're winning games right now.
Yeah.
And the fact that we've won games in spite of him being in the lineup consistently just shows you how well balanced this team is, right? Way more than other teams than we're competing with.
Yeah, it's not a year, 2 years ago where it was just Jazz pretty much, was the star of the show.
And that was
He's
it.
still a star, but like now we have some good pieces around him that are picking up the slack, because he's been out for a while. So,
I mean, you mentioned it, bro.
It's only going to be better when we have him fully healthy, fully in the rotation.
Chico, the Marlins are one of 5 teams.
2-0.
Look at that.
Sorry, 2-0. We are up 2-0 on the Cardinals. So
we're one of the only 5 teams in the MLB right now with 50 or more wins.
That's big for this Marlins team, bro. When you talk about this Marlins team, that's unbelievable.
Yeah, mano. We did not set our sights that high, Joel.
No.
What did we want from this team?
I mean, just to fight for a wild card spot.
Make it competitive. Stay within 10 games, 5 games, 6 games. You don't even got to be leading the race. Stay close enough that towards the end of the season, we can see your name up there, and at least SportsCenter will mention you guys here and there because of whoever you're playing.
Shit, 39 and 46.
Yeah,
sounds like what the Marlins record, should be, might be, could be. That's the Mets. 39 and 46, 7 games under 500 with millions upon millions of dollars being spent by the Coens on that franchise, and they're 7 games under 500. I mean,
yeah,
sheesh, that's rough.
Good. This team has really good chemistry right now, man, and I'm glad that there are a lot of things working for this Marlins team, right? The moves that they've made, the call-ups that they've made. We had another pitcher make his debut, which was awesome, pitched well. Just everything seems to be working for the Marlins right now. Shit, even the idea of bringing back the retro jerseys on Fridays, the guys get amped for it. They sweat it. You know what I mean? Like, they look forward to it. Yeah. The fans are into it again.
3-0.
Yeah, Joel's keeping you guys up to date right now. I know you guys probably know the score by now, but still,
it's pretty wild.
It's wild, yo. It's wild because it's happening yet again. The last time they were at this point, Joel, and they had something similar going on. You know when that was? 2003. You know what happened that year?
We won the World Series.
Oh, we won the World Series.
That's all that happened.
That's all that happened. That's it.
4-0.
That's it.
I mean, they're just kind of piling them on right now. Let's take a look at what's going on right here. So, Arraez has a hit. Soler has a hit.
All-star starter, by the way.
De La Cruz has a hit and an RBI. Cooper has a hit and 2 RBIs.
Sick.
And Myers has a hit and an RBI.
Sick.
I mean, that's pretty sick. We're killing these guys right now at home, which is good. It's good for the home crowd, man. Love to see us win big, or just win in general in front of the home crowd.
Bro, I just love to see the contributions coming from the entire team. I think that's when the Marlins have been at their best historically, right? Where they're not depending on one guy. Yeah, you have that 1 or 2 guys emerge as key guys, right? And that happens. But it's always been more organic. It's never really been bought and put together. I feel like we have a good mixture of guys that we brought up, traded for, kind of scouted, and just saw something in to bring them in to put them together. And, one thing we don't talk about enough, Joel, before we wrap up on the Marlins, is the manager, man. Skip Schumacher has come in and really done a number with this squad, dog. It's really underestimated this season, the type of impact that a guy like him as a first-year head coach, head coach has had and continues to have with this team. Full of stars, full of guys who are all-stars, guys making big money, guys making little money, rookies, like guys not speaking his language, all types of stuff this dude is dealing with. And all he's been able to do is stay consistent, really put really good lineups together, focus on which player fits where the best, rotation. Everything's been on point with Skip Schumacher. He's made mistakes, yes, but very minimal. And he deserves a lot of credit for the success that this Marlins team is having. Yeah, the players play, but I feel like when you're the manager, you have that job of making sure that everybody continues to lock in daily, right? And continues to buy in and kind of believe on what the move is, right? Or what the movement is. And he's been able to do that like a fucking veteran, man.
Don Mattingly never started out a season this good.
No.
In his tenure with the Marlins. What was it? 5 years, something like that?
Yeah.
You know, he never came out like this. You know, it was always like, all right, you know, maybe next year, you know, they're still rebuilding. That was always the thing with, you know, with the Mattingly era. Second year now for Schumacher.
First year. Yeah.
Okay, so this is the first year.
Yeah.
Looking like it's his second year already. The way that
looks like a vet.
The way that he's, you know, managing this team right now, and yeah, I completely agree. Got to give him credit. Hopefully he gets to fit into that triangle and make it a nice boxy square, you know, of McDaniels,
wild.
Spo, and Coach was it Mitchell? Yeah, that'd be nice, man.
Let's see. I think that, like I said, the Marlins are doing more than what we asked, right? For any Marlins fan, nobody was expecting this. I just feel like they need to continue to have that momentum, and it seems like they're going to be able to do so. And I think that they're being smart about it too. That's part of the reason why they're holding back a guy like Jazz and not letting him go out there full tilt, right? Because they don't need to at this moment.
Yeah, we're winning.
You're winning. You're leading the wild card chase. Like, you don't got to worry about that, you know? And you're leading the wild card chase against good teams too. The Dodgers, Phillies, San Francisco, Milwaukee, you know, Pittsburgh. All these teams have won before and have gotten to the playoffs before the Marlins have. So, yeah, just got to keep the boat steady as she goes.
Well, one last thing on baseball related before we jump off. Did you see one of your people's throw a no-no the other day?
Yeah, from the Yankees.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Pretty interesting, dog. I mean, not every day you see a no-no.
No, that was pretty cool, man. And then the story behind it was pretty cool too, right? With his uncle passing away a couple of days before. And he had just got rocked his previous start. I think he gave up like 12 runs or some shit like that.
Damn.
And then just, you know, has his uncle pass away and just kind of changed something in him. And he credited his uncle, you know, for really showing him the game and helping him on his path. So it was cool that he got to live that moment. And that's what sports brings you, bro. It brings you the highest of the highs and the lowest of the lows. And in both ways, they're both beautiful. You know, it's beautiful to see him struggle and get racked, right? And be like, damn, this guy's the best of the best in the world. And he gets his ass kicked, right?
Off nights,
right? And then he's able to bounce back and show everybody why he's one of the best in the world, right? And goes out there and has the no.
Crazy accomplishment. Last one we had was 2012.
Yeah, bro.
Fun fact, there were 3 in 2012.
That's wild.
That's crazy,
Shit
right?
doesn't happen
I didn't
often.
know that.
Yeah, man.
I knew the last one was 2012, but I didn't know that there's 3 in 2012.
Yeah, and ESPN even ran that little special. I don't know if you caught it, where they were showing like all the guys who have thrown recent no-nos and shit like that, and like how it affects them like during the game itself, while they're sitting down and they're in the bench and nobody's really talking to them. Nobody really wants to bring it up. Everybody's doing their hardest to make every play and dive for every ball. So it's an intense thing, man. And to accomplish that feat in baseball is
damn near impossible.
Damn near hard, impossible. But you know what? You're etched in the history books forever, dog. That name goes in the books, dog. Hey, you threw a no, buddy.
Yep.
Wild, man. Shout out to him, man. Good for him. But yeah, F the Yankees.
Yeah. I'm sure that's
F
why
the Yankees, cause
you didn't care to mention it too much.
Nah, not really, dog. You know me, dog. I'm home team all day, dog. But I just feel like the Marlins really got that sauce. They got that sauce this year. So if you guys haven't been out there, make sure to do that. And you know, I told you earlier, we're gonna set that date out there to go out there and just watch a game, man, because it's been worth it. And I gotta get out there and see Yuri pitch, man.
Summer baseball, baby.
Can't beat it. And it'll kind of like lead us to the rest of the football season once we get there, right? And to imagine to have the Marlins heading into the postseason right around the same time football starting. How sweet is that, though? Right? Marlins, Hurricanes will be kicking off. Dolphins kicking off.
And then you got the Heat right there, too.
Boom.
We'll have Dame time. It'll be like a crazy little like month right there in October.
We've become sort of a winning town. I don't want to say like winning championships, but we're getting used to the idea of winning being normal here.
Yeah.
right? And that's great, man. That's great for the rest of the
We
franchises.
need to bring a title home soon.
Yeah. Let's see. Maybe
Any
it's the
sport,
Marlins.
any sport.
Maybe it's the
multiple
Marlins.
sports.
Maybe it's the Marlins, dog. You know, talking about winning, we got to bring up this dude before we wrap up the show. And
Talking about comebacks.
talking about comebacks, talking about perseverance, talking about, continually to show up day in, day out, have those highs, have those lows. Ricky Fowler, man, went out there and won an amazing tournament this weekend.
Rocket Mortgage Classic in Detroit, Michigan.
Yeah, man. And the course was beautiful. I don't know, like, if too many people pay attention to that, but just the layout of the course was really nice. Obviously, a lot of guys shot high scores, but still, just the fact that those guys get out there and can dominate a course like that is awesome to see.
Yeah, scoreable course. The winning score was 24 under. There was actually 3 players that
Right, in
finished
the
at
20s.
24 under.
Yeah.
Because there was a 3-way playoff
Yes.
at the end of it all.
And let's talk about who made that 3-way playoff, right? Like, Ricky was a little shaky heading into the 17th and 18th holes.
So Ricky had the lead going into Sunday
Right.
and was having a modest day.
Nothing to write home
good
about.
day. He was under par. He was like 2 or 3 under, but he had a couple guys that got hot on Sunday, including Colin Morikawa and Adam Hadwin. Morikawa was like 6, 7 under on the day, made a surge. Adam Hadwin had a great day too. I don't have it exactly in front of me where he shot that day, but long story short, man, Ricky on 17, which is a par 5, he doesn't birdie it, and you got to birdie the par 5s, coming down the stretch. Those are your ones that are usually birdie holes. And he kind of messed up. He messed up the drive on that hole, and then he messed up the second shot, like the layup, and then the third shot wasn't close enough, and he just missed the putt for the birdie. And it was like, damn, he shouldn't have been in that situation. And going into 18, he was down. He was down 1. He was 23 under, and Adam Hadwin, who had birdied the par 5, and Colin Morikawa, who was already in the clubhouse, were both at 24 under. So Ricky needed a birdie 18 just to get into the playoff and make it a 3-way playoff.
Hits an amazing second shot, dog. What an approach to get right on the green, dog.
Right at the flag, dog.
Right at the flag, dog. And when you're talking about pressure, that's pressure. Everybody's watching. Cameras. And usually when you and I go play, dog, it's fucking quiet.
And there's still pressure.
Right? And there's still pressure to hit the shot. Imagine trying to hit the shot for A, the money, and B, like, just to force the action on everybody else. And that dude stuck it within 3 feet.
Bro.
Stuck it, dog.
Stuck it, made the birdie, forced the playoff. They go to a playoff.
Hit right on his drive, I think, right? Or went left. Kind of into the rough.
I think so. But then he ends up getting it on the green, probably like a 15-foot putt. Buries it. Just buries it. And then Morikawa and Hadwin both parred the hole, so
yeah,
Ricky wins.
Yeah, man. And such a good scene to see him win, right? And all the funny memes that came out of it, like with him looking up at Chubb.
That was one of my favorite ones.
And Abraham Lincoln for some reason.
Yeah, because he took that moment, you know what I mean? Like, you can just tell how genuine of a moment that was for him. Like, because he's won before.
Yes.
This isn't like his first time winning.
No, he knows what it wins to win a major.
It wasn't a major.
Right.
Well, no, he doesn't. He hasn't won a major.
No, he hasn't. You're right. My fault.
But he's won big tournaments, and this wasn't a major per se, but damn, this was a big one for him. 4 years, without winning. Because of the fact that he started a family, he got married, he started a family, he kind of, focus shifted away from golf, went through a swing change, worked through it, did it all, then fell out of the top 100.
Yes.
Then, did the swing change and, started working at it, started coming up, has done phenomenally this season, placing in different tournaments and majors in the top 10. Top 5 even in some occasions, and it was just a matter of time before Ricky won again, man. And we saw it this weekend in Detroit, and that moment when he won, that he just kind of took a second, just kind of looked up at the sky. It was just kind of it looked like a moment of relief. Like,
the mama, I made it?
Like, nah, not mama, I made it. It's like,
finally.
Yeah, I've been here before. Like, this is where I'm supposed to be.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
no sweat off my back.
No. Like, it was sweat, but like, I can do this. I'm Ricky Fowler. I can hit the shots that I need to hit down the stretch
when I need to
win these tournaments.
When I need to hit them.
And you know what I mean? Now, with one major left on the season, in Britain or England or the UK or however you want to refer to it.
The UK is probably the easiest way.
You know, you got a hot Ricky Fowler, man, who's been doing well all season, and now he's regained some more confidence after a victory. You know, Rocket Mortgage Classic. No offense, you know, it's a great win, but it ain't a major, baby.
No,
and a major is gonna hopefully, you know, it bring out a different monster now in what Ricky Fowler is and can be again.
Correct. And you mentioned it. He has to have that confidence in himself to remember I can win against whoever, whenever, and I can hit shots like this to put myself in positions to either force the action or win itself. And that does a lot for your confidence as a golfer and your swing too, man. To hit shots that you wouldn't normally try to take on, and maybe try to get yourself on the green, maybe try to get yourself within five feet of the cup. And those are the shots that either you can kind of play conservative and take the easy route, or you can try to challenge and say, I'm going to beat the guy who's ahead of me, and I'm going to make up the strokes on him in this form, right? And really put the pressure on him. And there were a lot of guys who, I don't want to say that they didn't show up, because they did show up, obviously, but they didn't necessarily play their best down the stretch, right? Morikawa, he hit a shot that got pretty close but didn't drop. And he was surprised how far it was. Those are clutch shots that he's not making.
And we've seen him be clutch, you know, and to win majors, to win the PGA Championship. Ballsy play, driving a par 4, you know, and burying the putt for eagle. You know, we've seen Colin Morikawa be clutch, but it wasn't his tournament to win. It wasn't his day. He had a phenomenal performance. I mean, what did Colin Morikawa do that day?
He had a 64, dog.
Which would be 8 under?
Yeah, man.
8 under par.
Yeah, man. I mean, come on,
bro. Who's going out there and doing that, bro? Not a lot of guys are going out there shooting 8 under.
And lost. Shot a 64, which is the low, I think, of the day, and still lost.
Yeah, I mean, it's a whole tournament you got to worry about.
And you got to make the shots when it counts. And unfortunately, he couldn't. And Ricky could. And Ricky kind of reminded himself, like I said earlier, that he can make those big shots in those big moments. Now we have to kind of see it translate into the next major, which is the Open, like you said, in the UK. And he should have way more confidence in himself to say, now I can go out there and hang with the big guys and beat people who haven't been as dominant, right? Because you look at Jon Rahm, hasn't been as dominant. You look at Scottie Scheffler, hasn't been as dominant. They've both been good. They've both been consistent. They're both always in the top 5 because that's how good they are. But we have yet to see either really dominate and separate themselves from the pack when they go out to win a tournament.
Yeah.
We haven't seen that yet.
Ricky Fowler, last year, 103rd in the world golf ranking.
Oof.
Last week, 35th. After his win, 23rd in the world and climbing.
Moving on up.
He's gonna be somebody that you want to look at for this Open, man. He's playing some really good golf right now. He's in really good headspace right now. And look out. You know, he's due for a major, man. He needs to win one. If he does, he'll be considered one of the all-time greats. I think he's already in that conversation as far as like what he's done for the game and how good of a person and player he is and all that stuff. You know, as far as an ambassador, but you gotta solidify yourself with the major. All the greats do. For
sure. And you have to go out there, and especially with this major, right? Because this major is a tough course. You're not going to run into an easy course out there. The wind is going to be a factor. The lies are going to be a big factor. And you're going to have to be really confident in your game and what shots you can hit. Like I said, he hit some big shots to get himself out of trouble in order to put himself in an advantageous position, right? He can put himself in that position and say, now I can force the action on the next guy because I'm going to make my putt and get myself the birdie and force this guy to try to make his from 15 or out. Even longer. So let's see how much confidence he plays with. I'm interested to see if we see that bounce back from the world's best guys that we know, which is Rahm and Scotty. You know, those guys are due for a big win in big fashion. Those guys are due because I feel like Scotty's always in that mix, but he hasn't found that killer stroke yet. We've seen his putter fail him a lot recently, so I don't know if that has something to do with it or if he's working that out.
You don't gotta worry about Scotty's game, bro.
I'm not. Trust me. I'm the last guy worried about that guy.
Scotty is leading the PGA right now and scored a par. He's leading as far as how under par he is over all his rounds this year so far.
True or not true, his putter has let him down.
Scotty's?
Yes.
I mean, you could argue that for anybody that's not winning, man. You know what I mean?
No, but
and
he's
you
the
can
best
say,
of the best.
And you can say that for anybody that's winning. You can say that their putter was hot that day. It does. It's a swing. It's a pendulum. But you don't got to worry about Scotty because it's one of those things that you look at his scoring this year, phenomenal.
Always.
And then you look at, you know, where he's placing in these tournaments. I don't think he's placed outside like the top 12 in any tournament this year, which is stupid.
Which is crazy good.
Bro, he's grinding good. And he's out there, and it's like, okay, so if this is the Scotty that isn't
the dominant,
you know what I'm saying? Like, boys and girls, you got to get ready for when he
in trouble.
Gets on a hot streak again, like he did last year.
Yeah, you're
that
in trouble.
He won three out of 4 tournaments or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, the Scotty will be fine, man. Those guys, man, they bring some good golf out. So I'm excited to see the Open in a couple weeks. We'll cover that the week of. Obviously, we'll talk
have
about
a special
preview,
guest.
all that
set
stuff.
Everything
Hey,
up here,
maybe.
Right? We can do it back at the spot. You know what?
We'll figure that out
off camera. Yeah, off air. We're gonna do that.
Oh man.
But I think it's a good enough time to tell people, dog. My watch is still on the West Coast time. Bro.
Oh, you gotta adjust that.
That's a flex.
The flex is having the logo on the watch and on the T-shirt.
You feel me?
That's a quick flex right there.
We're doing the promo we're trying to start the product line out here. This is the first of many. In case you ain't know, SoSo shirts, so we're gonna get these out. But yeah, this is one of one. We might be giving it away. Who knows? But it's a good time to tell a friend.
To tell a friend.
To tell another friend.
To tell everybody that they know.
To tell everybody that they know to go to our YouTube page and hit the subscribe button. We're trying to get to 300. We're about 25 to 30 away from having that goal met. So help us get there by telling a friend to tell a friend. And of course, make sure to follow Miami Golf Bros as well. Until next time, y'all.
Peace.
What you think? I was going to shout you out, kid?